ladies and gentlemen. I just want to go ahead and welcome everybody out to True Fitness Online. And basically what we have today is kettlebells in the animal body. Now this is going to be a nice little post. I just want to put this up so people can understand like what kettlebells are and really just how to actually utilize them when you're looking to work out, you understand, and how to implement them into your fitness goals. So right now, basically, I want to say, hey, thanks for coming out, and just to introduce you to my space here. This is basically going to be the new True Fitness Studio. You know, got a nice background back here. It's going to be getting dressed up here in the future, and just a lot for you guys to look out for, and just really get into it. So I'm going to have to check the sound on this, but right now I really don't have a choice, but eventually we're going to get some mics hooked up and really get this thing rolling real smooth. So I hope everyone can hear me pretty well. Okay, so let's get right into it. Okay, so number one, my name is Lance Dillon, and I've been working with kettlebells since about 2007, and it's really an exciting time for myself, largely because I just got in contact again with my baby here, my Russian Red. And basically, okay, here's my credentials on the kettlebell. I was trained by Soviet Force up in Highland, Illinois, back in 2007. And Arturez, my trainer, who's now deceased, basically taught me how he learned the kettlebells and all his know-how on the kettlebell, and I moved from that to working with the Russian kettlebell via the RKC, and I went over RKC in 2008. So with that, I worked out in Chicago. I witnessed some guys in the gym that I used to train at compete with the kettlebell, and that was a different style kettlebell lift. It was basically competition style kettlebell lifting, and that's not what I specialize in when I use the bell. I do know a little bit about competition styles kettlebell lifting, but what I want to particularly use the bells for is for anything other than that. And what this can basically do is enhance those skills or whatever the case may be. But I'm really on how the bell was originally designed and how it's designed to work with the body. Okay. And after I finished with the RKC back in 2008, I got involved with Qigong, and it really took me deep into, the body, and I was just got to working with the subtle energies of the body, and moving forward from that, I was able to start understanding the energy systems of the body, not just the things that we learned about in the Western books, but I also started to delve into the meridian systems of the body, which are very real. I also tapped into just the different forms of the bodies, the chakra systems, broke down the sephira, whatever the case may be. I've really gotten in heavy with these systems via the East, and so here we have it. So what I noticed over time was the kettlebell, when they were first introduced into the States, I kind of got on really early. And I learned that the kettlebell was an ancient tool. It predated the dumbbells and the barbells in its age. And I found that it's basically an Africanoid tool. It was popularized by the Russians, but the tool actually comes out of for lack of better terms, a darker land, so to speak. But I mean, what I found in working with various people, I really enjoyed the way that the Russians kind of broke the bells down to me. So let me introduce my two bells for today. All right, so basically right here I have this bell here. It's a 35-pound bell. It's 16 kilos, a 35-pound bell. I'll go ahead and turn this over to the side. Just so you can see what a kettlebell really is. And what it is basically you have the bell here, the bell, there's the big ball. Okay, and then what we have here are the horns to the bell. Okay, now the bell itself is designed in a way to dig deep into the muscle and deep into the muscle belly. So you develop an internal strength. And that was something I really didn't understand until I really started digging into the bell, okay? And then later on, I'll be introducing my baby here. This is my Russian red. This one here is 24 kilos, 24 kilo. And it's a beautiful specimen. You see 24 kilo right here on the back. And just so you all know, that these were limited edition, and they are no longer in sale. You know, got it straight out of Dragon Door when I got my RKC. I originally had two, and thanks to my forgetfulness in Gary, Indiana, somebody has a free Russian kettlebell, Russian red kettlebell out there in the Jeep. But who knows? But anyway, okay. Now, the thing is the kettlebell is not to be approached how you would approach, say, barbells and dumbbells. And here's the reason. Again, the kettlebell is a free-flowing instrument. So you can use it in a number of different ways where the balance of the ball agrees with the body. Because if you notice, on the kettlebell, if you notice that it's round. Now, one thing that we don't really think about when we move, but it's an absolute truth, is that when you move, everything from your feet through your knees to your hips, when we move, the bones move in circles. Okay? So if we look at the shape of this bell, it's in circles. It's almost in a figure eight, but locked in like a chain. You see? So when we start talking about chains of the body, the number one chain that you'll be affecting when you work with the kettlebell is the posterior chain. What is the posterior chain? The posterior chain it runs from the bottom of your foot, up the back of the body, and all the way up to the occipital bone. So everything running on the back side of your body. And I was talking with a good buddy of mine, and we got to talking, and he just reminded me of the 12 cranial nerves. And when we work with this bell, it's really going to be tapping into those types of things. So a lot of times when we hear about scientists say that the humans of today have a certain amount of dormant DNA or untapped potential, well, the kettlebell is designed to tap into those specific potentials that are not being utilized. How is that? Okay, so say if you have a person that sits down all day at work, you see, and then you come home and you go and sit down all day, all right? Now, what's actually happening as you sit on your butt, your glute muscles start to fall asleep. And a lot of people tend to lose feeling in the glute muscle. And when you lose the feeling in the glute muscle, number one, you really affect your Kundalini system. I really don't want to get into that one today. But you also cut off a lot of blood flow to the bottom half of your body. i.e. the netherworld, or the things that we don't like to face. You see, sometimes we might be dealing with different fears in life, and it's easy to cover up when we don't have access to our legs, you see. And what I'm basically saying is, you know, if we can't see it in the mirror and we don't give it the attention that we give the front parts of our body's imbalanced. So a lot of times too, when I work with a lot of the clients over the years, you know, a lot of people say, hey, I want to get rid of the belly fat. I want to get rid of these love handles. Well, you won't be able to affect those areas unless you deal with your glute muscles, your butt muscles. Those have to be tapped into because everything from the posterior chain wraps around and affects everything in the front. Now, there is an ancient lore or ancient knowledge of the body having two spinal systems, you see, and some even say that the tubing from the mouth down into the intestines and getting the stomach involved and everything like that. Some people even call that and refer to that as a deteriorated spinal column. Now I'll leave that for some of you to go and research into, but we all know that the mouth is directly connected to the butt. And if you take a look at the tubing, it does have an interesting route. But what we do find is that when we deal with the spinal column, it has ganglia that reaches out and taps into each one of our organs. So what we can find is that at some point, whether you agree or not, but the back side of the body has to influence the front side of the body to create a balance. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and switch tapes. Let's go ahead and get into the next segment.